Hello, everyone. This is Robert here, giving you my viewpoint on Blizzard shutting the Nostalrius server. Yeah, if you haven't known, it's been for a while, and I've been trying to sort out my thoughts on how this is. Um, it is a server, a privately owned server that people used to play old WoW before Warlords of Draenor and Cataclysm and Mist of Pandaria. Yeah, so Blizzard is shutting it down. Now, is this a good thing? Not really. It really. Yes and no. I mean, we're talking from a strictly business sense. Yes and no. Because cutting it down, you could potentially get those players in, but most likely the game has changed more to I'd have to say, not exactly Diablo 3, but that was the start of it. It turned into more of a MOBA talent tree, and I don't know. That doesn't seem like a good idea for Blizzard. Pardon me. But sorry. Let me get that out. But it doesn't work shutting down servers, and I've played a lot of MMOs: WoW, Fly for Fun, Guild Wars 2, Guild Wars 1. I mean, I played a little bit of Terra, not really, but I found it okay. Played WildStar for a bit. It was okay. Pardon me. Not doing that. Not doing the ums and the buts, but let's get back to where I was. it won't help them. And here's what. Let me just lower this camera a bit. There we go. Oh, sorry. It won't help them. And here's why. Just because you shut down a server doesn't mean people are going to play your $15 a month game. And if you go and say, well, you could play the $20 for free, well, that's good, but they still want to play the old game. The issue being that the game is completely different than how it was back then. Something I would like to go back to is EverQuest. Gotta get that out. When EverQuest came out, it was a big hit. And everyone loved it. They played it for hours on end. I've lost like a lot of hours on that game. Probably failed a few classes and tests because of it. And when WoW came out, suddenly they started going after the private servers, because they were losing money, and they were thinking, oh, we get rid of these servers, they'll just play our game, and it doesn't work. They're not coming back. They'll never, they're gone. The subscribers, poof. Just because you get rid of something doesn't mean the game will suddenly come back to you. You don't get those subscribers back. They're gone. You've changed the game fundamentally. Those people like the game of how it was. Their memories are on that base game. So you have this division of people that Blizzard tried to keep together just splinter off because they changed the game. That's what would happen. Now, shutting down the Nostalrius server will not help it. What they need to do, and it's a fairly simple thing, is let people rent private servers so they can play the old game and be like, listen, well, you can play the old game. Here's how it's going to be. We'll charge you for the server, okay? And we'll charge you per person logging onto the server. So they're going to charge you, and they're going to charge the people. How will that help? Well, the people who play on the server don't necessarily need to play it. From what I understand, the Nostalrius server was a free-to-play game, and you didn't need to pay to play. So the people on there were eating the cost. That's great. You essentially just said, here's your server, pay for it, we won't have to mess with it. And then you also got Blizzard probably going to take a little cut from, well, not even need to take a cut from it. Let's be like, just give us our money. That would make a much more interest. That make a much more variety server. Now, will it split the player base? Not really. No. And the problem with them running a server like that is, I hate to say, is EverQuest will be my example. The problem with running a progression server is, or a legacy server is, you still need to progress. You could do the starting stuff fine. You could do it all over again and it's great, but eventually you'll get bored. You don't want to do that again. You want to go to the next thing again. You'd be like, oh, now we can go to the Burning Crusade. And then you're like, well, we've done the Burning Crusade. Let's go to the Wrath of the Lich King. That was really good. You're like, yay, now we can go to Mist of Pandaria. Well, did I really want to do that? No, I don't. But I'm so bored of this one. And that's where legacy servers don't really work, is people will get bored of doing the same thing over again. They want more stuff. They want to consume the content. And that doesn't work with a legacy server. It won't. I've seen it. So what EverQuest then did is had locked progression servers where you were locked. That did not last long. It just doesn't work. I don't know what to say. I've tried. Take it from me. I have seen the legacy servers. I have seen how they work. You got nothing. Best thing you could do is have people rent servers. Will Blizzard do that? Probably not. No, I don't see them doing that in the future. They want to keep that code lock tied in a vault down somewhere in whatever Fallout takes place in New Reno. Somewhere in California, okay? It's in Vault 13 down in New Reno. I'm sorry, you're done. And I think that's really one of the interesting aspects of this is you just don't really take into account how much it doesn't work. And people are they're right. I mean, people want to play it, but the developers handle it so poorly instead of explaining it. All they had to do was just sit down and say, listen, it just doesn't work. EverQuest tried it, and what happened was people just left. They just up and left. There's nothing. There's not a game to play. The servers are dead. And the reason being is people want to try something new. People don't want to play the first 3 expansions till the end. Oh my god. That is so sad. What are you going to do then? You essentially have a dead server. You're going to close it. You're going to close it. You're not going to pay those costs. Who would? But having a privately owned server or a rented server from Blizzard authenticated, yeah, that could work. That could be one of the saving graces of a legacy server. And I would just love to see how it happened. But Blizzard devs do not seem interested in renting servers, nor do they seem interested in actually having anything of value. What they want... Oh, pardon me. This is a long rant. What they want is you to play their game. Not what the game was, but what the game is. And I think that's partly of pride and partly of just being stubborn, which is not good for business. You cannot be stubborn. You have to be flexible. You have to take into account that maybe simplifying the game doesn't make the game necessarily fun. And we'll take a look at Dark Souls. The game is actually, in Blizzard's term, overly complicated and overly stressful. And my monitor just went out. Hold on. Get back here, monitor. Thank you. Yeah. But from Blizzard's perspective, Dark Souls is overly complicated and overly complex. Yeah, they would not use that combat system in any form of imagination. They would go and say, "Well, that game's just too boring. People don't want to play it, or it's just not simple enough and fun enough." And apparently, people play it. I've played it. It took me like 10 tries to beat the first boss, but I beat him. I was glad to beat him. I didn't really care for WoW's bosses. They're just all, it's like, oh yeah, you summoned a bunch of statues. Okay. I beat him first try. Beating a boss that beats you over and over again, that has a good feeling to it because it's revenge. Oh boy. Yeah, Blizzard will never have a legacy server, and if they're smart, they would let you rent it. But from what I hear and how, like, you don't want to play it, you do not want to play that server. It's not fun. I'm telling you, because I'm a dev. I know fun, even though fun is actually a subjective form, and the definition actually is different for everyone because of the definition implied by it. It's not fun. I'll tell you what's fun. Yeah. Mm-mm. You can't have fun and have it be fun for everyone. Tell me what you think. I mean, would you pay for a rented legacy server? Let me know. I guess I would normally say have fun and keep playing, y'all, but have fun and keep playing, y'all. I'll stick with that. Bye.